Hey everyone, welcome back to Bryan's Mysteries and Adventures on Trail. I hope everyone's having a good day. Today we are going to be talking about the disappearance of Bob Gregory. Bob Gregory is a 61-year-old man from Hawthorne, California. He is part of a recent slew of disappearances in the San Gabriel Mountains, specifically 3. Now, yesterday I covered 2, Mr. Sands and Mr. Chung. Mr. Chung thankfully was rescued. Today we're going to be talking about Bob. Now, he went missing in a slightly different area, the Mount Islip area. I'm going to have maps up as always. In my opinion, Bob Gregory was by far the most experienced and prepared out of these recent disappearances. He had hiked this area over 24 times. He was always very well prepared according to his family. He was always safety conscious. He took the proper precautions. He even left various maps with his family and friends of his route, which is a very, very good thing to do and a thing that a lot of people don't do. Now, these are some pictures in and around the Mount Islip area. I'm going to show you various images that you can see how much the weather has just pummeled this area. I mean, you can just see how strong Mother Nature is. Look at these trees and the snow and ice. It is a huge difference than when you're on the ground level. And I'm going to have some pictures of that too. Here's some more pictures looking out over the summit. Here's another picture of some of the massive snow. I'm going to have some other pictures of some of the snow drifts. Unfortunately, this has hindered some of the efforts of the search and rescue because the ground searches have been limited. However, they have been doing an amazing job. I'm going to talk about the main team. They are just an amazing group of men and women. This is a picture of one of the trail guides. This is obviously summertime, but you can see it's very clear, accurate. Unfortunately, when these storms hit, a lot of these trail markers are knocked off or they're twisted around, which makes the arrows sort of worthless because you don't know what direction they were originally pointing in. Now, look at the angle. This is part of Mount Islip, of how steep it is in certain situations. This is, again, summertime. Now, imagine if you couldn't see the trail, how treacherous that would be. Here's another map of in and around the area. This is a picture of Bob on one of his many adventures. Like I said, he was very experienced, not just on these mountains, but all around. He has years and years and years of experience under his belt. Now, according to a post that his sister made to one of the guides, the trail guides, he was going to go through Windy Gap, then through some other trails, and then to the summit of Mount Islip. Now, his vehicle, which is a Ford F-150 pickup, was found at the Windy Gap trailhead parking lot. This is a picture of one of the search and rescuers that is actually on the ground. You can see just trying to trek up this steep mountain in crazy snow. This is one of the Montrose helicopters that they've been using. I know it's not the best picture. I'm going to have some other clearer pictures here, but you know, they just have a very difficult task ahead of them. This is one of the pictures the family presented when they went out to do a search, and they said that the roads in the area down in the ground level was just completely blocked with not only snow but mudslides, because you can imagine that, you know, the temperature is obviously a lot lower down at the base. It just creates just crazy conditions. Now, this is the team that's been heading up the search and rescue, Montrose Search and Rescue. They are just an amazing, amazing team. If I ever was lost, I'd want them on my case, because they are, look at them. They're in basically almost head deep snow, and they just keep on trucking. The snow has been relentless out there. I don't know if any of you are familiar with hiking in snow, but it is absolutely exhausting. It's exhausting enough trying to go uphill when there isn't snow, trying to trek through this kind of snow in depth. This is a picture of a man now next to the mountains. You can just see how he's dwarfed by these crazy mountains. Now, Mount Islip isn't as high as some of the other mountains that we were discussing. I believe it's just over 8,000 feet. Again, sometimes when these storms come in their wake, they leave crazy fog, all kinds of other, you can see this is another picture that the search and rescue was kind enough to share on their Facebook page. You can see they're just going into not only deep snow, but heavy fog. Unfortunately, because of this relentless weather, they've had to rely mainly on search helicopters. Now this is a map of Mr. Gregory's intended route that he left with his family and friends, which was a very, very smart thing to do, because this gives search and rescue at least an idea of what he was planning to do and where to start. Otherwise, it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack sometimes. You don't even know where to begin. Now look at this picture. This was taken by the search and rescue teams on the ground. Look at this snowdrift and these ice caps over a man's, I mean, even if you were 6'5", it would be over your head. This is another picture of them trying to scale up one of these very, very steep cliffs. I mean, it's a very, very dangerous undertaking, and I just applaud them for their efforts, because search and rescue is dangerous enough, but in inclement weather and winter, it is very, very tough. Here's more pictures of the search for Bob Gregory. You can see they have their snowshoes on. They're going up a steep embankment. This was a time where the weather at least broke for a little bit. Here's another picture of Bob Gregory. Like I said, he's only 61 years old, very, very athletic, very, very smart. So we have high hopes that he will be found. This is the Montrose search and rescue team on the ground making some new plans. But you can see in this picture, it doesn't even look like winter. These were taken all around the same couple of days. But then once you get up over a certain elevation, it's just insane how thick and deep the snow is. This picture was obviously taken in sort of late spring. A lot of the snow melt had come off. But then again, you go from that to something that looks like this. And that's sometimes how a lot of hikers get in trouble. I'm not saying that's what happened to Mr. Gregory, but a lot of times it's clear and nice on the ground, or the base level, whatever you want to call it. And then after you pass a certain elevation, you're just in heavy fog and heavy snow. Bob Gregory went missing on January 16th of 2023 this year. His family did hear from him. I know his sister apparently heard from him with some ideas of the trail and what his plans were, which was very common. According to her, she's told the media that he often would send pictures and ideas of his route. If he was going to change it, he would update them. Unfortunately, though, that was the last anyone heard from him. I know that according to the family, they have been working with search and rescue and the authorities to try and ping his cell phone to see whether or not he may have ventured off course due to the heavy snow and crazy storms that have continued to pummel this area. Unfortunately, that's all the information we really have. I do know that his family is just torn apart and they're just desperate for answers. I will have the contact information for the Montrose Search and Rescue and the authorities on this search. So if you have any information, or if you were in and around that area, possibly hiking, and maybe saw anything that could help, please definitely contact the proper authorities. I want to send my thoughts and prayers out to Bob Gregory, wishing and praying that you will find your way out or be rescued by the search and rescue teams. I want to send thoughts and prayers, of course, to his family, his friends. I just hope that you get your father, your husband, your friend back soon. Thank you all for watching. As always, special thank you to co.ag for providing the background music. I will see everybody in the next one. Take care. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking with me to the end. I just wanted to say I really appreciate everyone and your comments, especially lately. I know that there's been cases that you've brought to my attention, and I really encourage that, because oftentimes I get so caught up in research and working on other cases that I'm not aware of new cases that are going on. I, of course, always try and do my best, but I really appreciate you guys bringing various cases to my attention. And I just wanted to say something that some people said something like, oh, well, this guy doesn't get as much media coverage because of he's not a movie star. And yes, I agree, that's unfortunate, but I am one of those people that always try and will always try to cover every case I can, no matter who the person is. I've said this many times. Everybody deserves a voice. That's why I've been trying to go back through different cases, people that barely got any coverage, and cover their cases. So if you ever have a case, please let me know and I will cover it. For those of you that are new to the channel or might not know, my contact information is always listed in the description, because sometimes I don't see every comment. So if you need to contact me, just look at the description and there's the contact.